Okay, we're celebrating the hop harvest, and we thought what better way of doing it than foraging for green hops in our local area and making a beer. Hi, I'm Rob, this is Joe. We're not at Malt HQ today. We are in amongst the hedgerows because they're absolutely stacked full of green hops. We live just 50 yards away, so we're absolutely super lucky to have this. But these are hedgerows like this are abundant in many parts of the country.
Herefordshire, Worcestershire, down in Kent, there's loads of them. They're
traditional hop growing regions, but also out of those regions as well, you will find hedgerows absolutely stacked full of hops. So we're foraging for wild hops today. Just recently, Joe, you went on a hop walk at a commercial farm. What did they tell you about how to check that a hop is ready to pick?
Okay, so there's two main rules really on this one. One is the crunch of the hop. It's got to feel almost like you're crunching a packet of crisps, that real crunchiness to the hop that gives it its ripeness. Also, I haven't got a good specimen here, but the very tip of the hop, you get a little tongue that comes out that they call the lamb's tongue. So those two areas are the two main things that you're going to look for. So if you've got your crunch, you've got your lamb's tongue, the chances are you've got a pretty spot on hop ready to
sure. And then actually you can take them and you can give them a rub, and once you've got them in your hand,
the smell
you can smell. And we're not looking for onion, we're not looking for garlic, we're looking for floral hop aroma.
Yeah, definitely. So that floral, no onion, and the stickiness on your hands as well. Really nice sticky feel on your hands once you've rubbed them and then you've put them down. Your hands almost want to stick together. The onion and garlic smell that you get from a hop when you've picked it means it's gone over. It's not going to be great for brewing with. If you get some hops that are real greeny and sort of they haven't got that floral smell to them.
It tends to be grassy.
Grassy smell. They're not ready. So you need to get it right in the middle. So not oniony, not grassy. Right in the middle is your sweet spot.
We're going to use these foraged hops to brew a celebration ale. Now, you can brew whatever you like, actually, but the particular beer that we're going to do is a ESB, an extra strong bitter, and the malt bill is 90% Marisotta, 5% biscuit malt, and 5% aromatic malt. So it's a nice malty backbone to the beer, but what's got to shine is these babies. Now, we don't know what the alpha content of these foraged hops are. We've got no idea at all. So we're not going to use them for bittering in the beer. These are going to go in at flame out for a steep. Now, the recommended rate is to replace 100 grams of dry hops with 5 times the amount. So 500 grams of wet hops. So actually we're going to go for a kilo of wet hops in at flame out.
Okay.
We're going to use a bittering product called Flex. Now, Flex is great because it gives you exact bittering, and we're going to use that at 60 minutes in the boil. So we know what our bitterness is going to be. We're going to be aiming for about 26 IBUs, and we're just going to use the foraged hops to give that real whack of green hop flavour in the beer. So this is absolutely perfect where we are at the moment because we're down a country lane and we're on the inside of the hedge. So we don't have to worry about the hops having been near petrol fumes or diesel fumes or anything like that, or just general dust coming off the road.
Yeah, you've got absolutely nothing here. We're really secluded where we are, which means that there's just nothing.
And actually the aroma coming off these hops is absolutely fantastic.
Stunning. Of all the ones that we've been looking at, the ones that I've been sort of searching for over the last few days, these have definitely got the best aroma.
That's the absolutely perfect thing about being able to forage for them, because obviously you can find different locations and the different aromas that come from those different locations. Okay, so what we're looking for is the actual hop cones themselves. We want as little like vegetal leaf bits as much as possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also, we don't have to worry about bugs and bits and pieces that are within the hops because they are aseptic anyway. Secondly, they're going into wort at about 80 degrees. And thirdly, beer's a real hostile environment for anything to want to be in anyway. So we're cool with just taking these straight off the hedge, I'm putting them straight into were at 80 degrees. We're back at Malt HQ. We've got our green hops that we foraged from the hedgerows. Whilst we've been away, Mark from our customer service team has very kindly finished our brew. So he's done the mash, he's done the boil. We've got our wort here and it's sat just at about 80 degrees, and now we are ready to steep our green hops.
We're brewing with the Grainfather G40 today. We've taken the grain basket out, we've cleaned it, and we're going to use it to put the hops into. It's going to help with the cleaning process.
Sure.
Afterwards.
Just using it as like a massive hop
bag.
filter.
Yeah,
because obviously we've got a huge amount of hops here.
Absolutely, and you could use a grain bag if you didn't want to do that. So should we get the hops in?
Let's get them in. The hops are going to steep for about 20 minutes. We're going to stir them in again after about 10 minutes, make sure that they're all completely soaked through. And we're going to have the pump circulating the whole time that the hops are steeping. And we're going to see you back here in about 3 weeks, where we're going to be trying our fresh hop beer.
So it's been 3 weeks since we went foraging for our green hops, and we've now got the finished product.
Yep, we've brewed the beer and we're serving it through a .365 beer engine. We've got the sparkler on. We're doing it as traditionally as possible. And I have to say, it looks absolutely smashing in the glass. I'm absolutely delighted with it.
When you poured this, what, 10 minutes ago?
Yep.
Head retention is still there.
I know, it's fantastic.
Looking good.
And one of the things that I was really, really pleased about is because we had a really good selection of wild hops, we had 4 or 5 different locations that we could travel to and find the ones with the best aroma and the best qualities that we actually wanted. And we're going to taste this beer now and see whether it's worked.
Absolutely. And you know what, I went past where we got the hops from the other day, and there's still loads of hops there that haven't gone over.
A couple of things. It was kegged yesterday, actually, so it's still a really, really fresh beer.
Yeah.
But wow,
it's lovely.
It is really, it's really good. It's got a creaminess to it from the yeast choice. Actually, is absolutely spectacular on this for this style of beer. It's the 028 Edinburgh yeast, and it produces a dryness, but it's got also that creaminess to it as well, which is actually really, really nice. Yeah. But that hop character,
it's lovely. It's really fresh. It's delicious. You could just
it actually
drink
this. It actually tastes like the green hops smelt when we rubbed them in our hands, and that has actually really, really carried over into the glass.
Okay, Rob, so in terms of flavour, let's deep dive into what we're getting out of this.
Okay, let's look at the malt bill first. Yeah. So we're getting quite strong malt sweetness. So it's not a sweet beer, but you're getting malt sweetness and bready malt aroma from it, and that is massively enhanced by both the aromatic and the biscuit that we've used in the malt bill. As far as the hops are concerned, you can't get this sort of aroma using any other type of hop apart from wet hops. So it's not particularly citrus, but it is highly floral, and the same aroma that you get when they're rubbed in your hands, that is coming through in the flavour.
Yeah, yeah.
The use of flex in the bitterness gives a gentle but also assertive bitterness that disappears.
Yeah.
So you just want to drink it.
Yeah.
You know, that aroma is really, really full on.
It is just lovely. It's really, really fresh.
I'm really pleased actually that the flavour of the hops was very similar to the aroma when we were in the rub, which has been a really interesting experiment. So absolutely delighted that as an experiment this has worked, and we didn't know it was going to work. No, it was an experiment, but how exciting to go foraging for hops, use them at home in your beer, and you're the destiny of your own picking and your own hop choice in your own beer.
These are literally from our doorstep, so that makes it even more exciting. And now's the opportunity for you to go out and have a look around, because they will still be there. They may not be the best to pick and brew with, but they will still be there. So make a note of where your local hops are.
Yeah, you could always be going out and scoping them out now. Yeah. So that you know where they're going to be growing for next year. We would urge you to go and do it, because it's such a great, fun experiment.
It's just brilliant. Get your hop eye in, get out, get noticing them, and brew some beer.
Cheers.
Cheers.